Okay, today I'm super excited to show you one of my favorite four-door sedans of all time, the 2003 Mercedes-Benz E55 AMG. Thank you so much, iCars Chicago in Skokie, Illinois, for letting me check this car out. So we all know how proud Mercedes-Benz owners are. Some will even get a little plaque that they put in their front grille to show you how many miles they've accumulated on their pride and joy. Now, we all know that most of the Mercedes owners with a little plaque with a few 100,000 or kilometers on their car are diesel owners that have had them for many years. They maintain them very regularly. It's kind of a cult following. It's kind of no big deal these days. But what really makes this car special is that it's a gas engine E55. Most people did not buy this car to commute hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of thousands of miles. But this guy did. All right, so let's get into what you want to know. How many miles does this E55 have on it? This car has 401,000 miles, not kilometers, good old American miles. You're also probably wondering, Alex, what does it cost to maintain such an expensive car for that many miles? These aren't exactly known as being cheap cars to keep. I'm going to fill you in on that. This is a one-owner car, so we were able to pull some records, and we're going to kind of come up with an estimate on what this cost over $400,000 to maintain. But first, we have to take this thing out for a drive. We have to see, how does it run? Does it squeak and rattle? Will it start? Is it going to die on me? What is the deal? How does a car like this feel after so many years and miles of use? We're going to get into that right now. Stay tuned.
All right, so as you see, the car did start and it runs awesome so far. So let's go ahead and take it out for a ride. See if this thing still has its 469 horsepower that it did brand new back in 03. And yeah, we'll see how it is. So I'm just pulling out right now, and holy crap, I can tell you right away, it still moves. Just spun the tires there at a quarter throttle. So, God, does it feel so good to be back in an E55. These cars are super special to me. I was an 18-year-old Mercedes-Benz apprentice in 2003 when these cars came out. So I remember getting there, and they gave me one as an apprentice to do the PDI, the pre-delivery inspection. And I got in it, and I didn't really know much about Mercedes when I started with them. And I took it out. They said, yeah, take it out for a test drive. And I'm like, are you serious? I'm 18. I mean, what do you, is that okay? So I took it out, and I gotta say, for all you people with really fast cars, and you think you're bringing it to the dealer and they're gonna treat it nicely, there's always an 18-year-old or a 21-year-old or a young guy like myself who's an enthusiast who's probably going to take your car out on a back road behind the dealer and open it up a few times. So just be aware of that, it happens. Back in 2003, this came out. It was the second generation E55. The first gen, I actually owned one, and it was pretty cool at 349 horsepower. It was a pretty quick car, but everyone steps up their game, especially for a new model year. So when this came out, it came out 469 horse and 516 foot-pounds of torque. Supercharged 5.5 single overhead cam engine with a 5-speed automatic. And it was the quickest car. I mean, it was the quickest factory production car of its time. Really, the only thing that could come close but not beat it was an $85,000 Audi RS6 that they only imported like 1,000 of them. And that had twin turbo V8, all-wheel drive. It was lighter, and this thing still beat it. Just everything about the drivetrain on this car has been proven, and obviously we're in a 400,000 mile one, to be pretty bulletproof. I mean, if you go on the forums, these guys are just doing like a pulley and a tune and maybe some drag radials. They're running 11s. It was just fantastic back then, and it still holds true today, especially considering that you can pick one of these things up for like $15,000, and obviously they last a really long time. So best bang for your buck car? Yeah, I think so. So overall, this thing is doing really, really well. It's not overheating. It's shifting nice. I mean, it drives straight. Honestly, there are like no rattles. I kind of almost forgot to even mention that to you guys, but I mean, this thing is awesome. I mean, it has a panoramic sunroof, so you're expecting it to you know, jiggle around and make some weird, you know, knocking noise, but I mean, it really doesn't. I'm not exaggerating. This thing drives really, really well, and I have a feeling we're gonna find out why. This being a one owner, I believe it was maintained at the dealer, which is just insane. I can't wait to add up, you know, exactly what this person spent on this thing. I mean, it's gotta be just astronomical. I mean, this person must have just absolutely loved this car. And hang on. Woohoo! Oh my gosh. I'm going to put this into manual mode here. And all right, we're in second, about 35, and okay, yeah. This thing still has it. That was insanely fast. I can't believe it. I was really expecting it to, you know, kind of be a little bit more tame after 400,000 miles, but this thing, seriously, I mean, I'm gonna go as far as to say if you just knock a 0 off of the cluster, I mean, it feels like a 40,000 mile car. I mean, as far as power, I gotta do this again. Hold on a second. Woo! The exhaust note is really good on these cars from the factory. You don't really hear the blower too much stock, especially in the car, but you know, some of the guys that do the pulleys and you know, put some different filters or cold air intake on there, you can really hear them whine, kind of like the 03, 04 Cobras after you would modify those. So the sound is definitely a little bit more tame, but then again, it is a Mercedes. But yeah, we can fix that. The transmission is a 5-speed, same 5-speed that they used in the V12 models, so it's already super beefed up. They hold up very, very well, aside from a $10 leaking connector that they all had. Other than that, they hold up really well. This thing shifts really nice. Let's see, I'm gonna leave it in drive. We're going 40, and you know, for testing purposes, I have to punch it, so here we go. Nice. I love the tuning on this trans too. It's expecting you to hit it again, so the RPMs just stay right up there waiting, probably, I don't know, for about 3-4 seconds. So if you're racing around a track, you could hit it a bunch of times and it would be in the proper gear, wouldn't have to keep on downshifting. I'm gonna give it a little punch here from this red light. I should be going back right now, but I really don't want to. I might have to pick one of these up soon, and of course I will modify it. Or maybe I'll buy one that's already modified. We all know that no one ever gets their money back on mods, so I could probably pick one up for about the same price as a stock one and already have all the ridiculously expensive modifications, hopefully exhaust and stuff like that. Oh Jesus, let's go. Holy, that's 60. Wow, that was 70 actually. That was 70. Tires spinning the entire time. ESP going absolutely nuts, trying to keep me in a straight line. And wow, I mean, love this car.
All right, so we're back at home base. It's actually a couple days after I drove the car. It took me a little bit of time to formulate a really good estimate for everyone on what exactly it costs to maintain this car. And the way I did it was from 3 different sources: the Carfax, the Vehicle Master Inquiry, and most importantly was I was actually able to speak with the dealership in California who maintained the car from 2003 all the way till April of this year. And that service writer was able to give me a ton of information that the other sources didn't show me. So what did it boil down to? We're talking about 11 years here. The first 2 were covered under warranty. This person spent about $3,200 a year to maintain this car. Now there are a few things that this excludes. Tires, which are a big deal, at about $15,000 over the course of the car's life to do tires. It also excludes a transmission that they declined in 2014 at the dealership, around 300,000 miles. Now, as you know, I drove the car at 400,000 and the trans shifted really, really well. So I'm assuming they went elsewhere to get the trans done, probably at a tune around $5,000 or so. So right around $50,000 to $55,000 is what it costs this person to maintain this car. What do you guys think about that? Honestly, I don't think it's that bad. I mean, if you look at the alternative of replacing your car once or maybe even twice, as most people would have with that many miles driven, this is definitely by far way cheaper than that, especially with depreciation on these high-end cars. So Also, this could have just been a cool experiment for this person, see how long this car can last, which I can totally appreciate that also. So what do you think? Do you have a car that you maintain for 400,000 miles or more? List it down below in the comments. I'd love to see it, and maybe a little bit of information on what you did to keep it going that long and what it cost would be fantastic. So with that being said, I really hope you enjoyed this video on the E55. If you're new to the channel, this is a car channel. I do car reviews on fun, cool cars. I do performance modification reviews, racing, DIYs, you name it, anything that happens in my garage and outside of here, I record and put on my YouTube channel. So please subscribe, like the video. As always, I hope you have an absolutely wonderful day, and thank you very much.